Welcome to lesson 2 of the Anglo Saxon revision. Just a reminder at the beginning of the lesson that you will need to be able to access the online textbook. The instructions are on the screen. Once you're in, find the history textbooks, click on the book and you will be able to read the textbook. So this is revision lesson 2. As a quick quick introduction, write these events in the correct order. So pause the video and write these down, put them in the correct order, the order in which they happened back in the 11th century. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at today, continuing with Anglo-Saxon society, is looking at England before 1066, before the Normans arrived. Use the textbook, page 14 to 15, to draw a diagram like this in your book and add notes. So an earldom is the biggest. We know there were 5 earldoms in England at this time. Within each earldom they were divided up into shires. Shires were divided into hundreds. Hundreds were divided into tithings, and they were then divided into hides. There's lots of information in the textbook on page 14 to 15, so add some notes. You can see one example there. This is a map just to show you, this is a map of 100, and you can see here there are lots of smaller divisions on this map showing the tithings that it's split up into. So this is just for information. You can see around the outsides of the boundaries of it, you can see the names of the other hundreds in that area. This is in the Midlands, in which would have been the earldom of Mercia in the Anglo-Saxon time. Okay, on page 15 it talks about military service and the fyrd. Have a read there and answer these questions. Next section is about law and order. Read this section carefully. This is not from our textbook, this is from a revision book, and this will help you just to think about the key ways that they kept law and order, because obviously there's no police force in Anglo-Saxon England. So read this information carefully, then on the next slide there's a task to do. So here are some descriptions of what people might have said at the time. What is each situation? What is being described? In your book or in your Word document, write the word and a quick definition. So for the first one, we think you stole some animals, but we can't prove it, so we're going to burn your arm. If God heals it, he's showing us you're innocent, but if it goes bad, you're guilty. Go back to the last slide. What are they? Which of the boxes on that slide is describing that process? And then the same for 2, 3, and 4. England's economy and trade is really important to understand. You can see the pictures show a silver penny from Edward's reign, and then at the bottom this is one of the Anglo-Saxon towns. They've used archaeological evidence to work out what it would have looked like. So one thing that we know is that England had lots of links with Normandy, which is in modern day France, and into Scandinavia in the north, where the Vikings came from. So they were trading with those countries, selling and buying goods from there. We know that England had a really well organised tax system. That's what we've just been looking at, the work of shire reeves in the shires. So you will have written about that in that first diagram that you drew with the circles. We can see the town here, and this is where most of the trading happened, particularly the valuable trading, and that was because they would take a tax from the people who'd sold things and bought things. They would have to pay taxes for buying and selling in the towns, and that was one way that they made money for the king in Anglo-Saxon England. And you can see in the picture there are a number of roads leading from this town, and they would obviously go to other towns. And what that meant was that really helped with trade. It was easy to travel around Anglo-Saxon England, and it was really safe. And they used the silver pennies made with silver from modern day Germany to do that trading. So England's economy and trade, it's a rich country and it's well organised and it's peaceful. So using these points, write a paragraph about Anglo-Saxon economy and trade using those bullet points and the pictures to help you. If you want to draw the picture of the burh, then you could do to help you remember. If you look carefully, you can see the walls around it They're strong earth walls, and you can see the houses are inside. So this is not like a castle, this is not a Motte and Bailey castle, this is a burh. It's a fortified town, a strong town. That picture is in the textbook on page 15 if you want to have a closer look. Thinking about the church as another part of Anglo-Saxon society, here we've got 5 features of the Anglo-Saxon church. Again, this is from the revision book. Use the 5 facts to complete the sentences. So fact A, or sentence A goes with fact 1. Bishops had a lot of influence, for example, so you can use the information in point 1 about bishops to help you finish that sentence, and so on for the other sentences. And to consolidate, here are some key terms. Can you match the definitions? So a burh, find which one you think that is the definition for, and then match it up and write these out in your book. Okay, well done, Year 10.